There. That'll probably redden up a little bit, but it's... What we need to do is go over to the rental and go on the front deck there. That's what that deck is for. Is to
oh yeah,
catch
so you can do some panning over there.
Yeah.
Oh. Got a little dash over here to the right.
Yeah. I don't know if the stuff on top is going to be gotten. I think it's...
Yes, I think it's too late.
It might get some of that. I don't think it's going to ever get that.
It's a little bit of red right there, but
That's okay. Doesn't look the same without the machinery there.
a better view.
So he walks right in front of the camera.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get upwind from you.
Kind of money we're paying you, and then you walk right in front of the camera.
Oh.
Next thing you know, you're going to be shooting the cinematographer.
Oh. Oh.
You hear me?
What's that?
Quit picking on him.
Would you rather I pick on you?
No. You don't pick on anybody.
You can pick on me.
No. Shouldn't pick on anybody. No bullying allowed.
You can pick on me, sir, but do you remember who my grandpa was?
I know exactly who your grandpa
And
was.
who was he?
Look at the reflection on the window.
Yeah. Are you going to behave yourself?
Of course not. That would be silly.
You better.
Why should I start now?
Oh.
You don't want to get in trouble, do you?
Well,
Trouble's your middle name, isn't
if
it?
I get in trouble, will you give me a good spanking?
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Sorry.
it's.
Can't take him
I was gonna say, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
There you go.
Well, don't run off. I deserve a good spanking.
Look over there.
Yeah, we're getting some red on the right there.
Supposed to get a pretty good dose of rain tomorrow.
Well, that'll be good. It'll water down that asphalt chips at the rental. Make that driveway a little nicer. As long as it doesn't wash a hole in it like it did last time.
Ooh, that could be.
It washed a hole big enough that I had to take two full buckets from the tractor over there.
I think it was more than that. Supposed to get like 3/10 of an inch. That's quite a bit. The skeet's supposed to get like a half an inch. That's a lot of rain.
Well, we'll see.
See.
We've heard stories like this in the past.
I think everybody gets it but us. It goes right around us.
Yeah.
It's like the Red Sea. It just parts and goes that way and that way. And we get nothing.
But when we get it worthwhile. Flag looks like it's a little hung up on the post there.
I know, and then look how tattered it is. I don't know why they're doing
Well,
that.
that post is flopping around pretty good too on the top.
Well, it's because you got those things to keep the birds off of there.
Yeah.
The wind's really like a sail up there.
If you want to see a pretty picture, look over there.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
what I'm moving it right even as we speak.
Oh, you did. And over there, right there.
Wow.
Plus I got the cat. I got my cat right in there. I should probably move that back and put the blade back on it.
Oh, right.
What does that do again? Is that
It's just a Caterpillar tractor.
that has a blade in the front?
Well, the blade is laying out in the back there, but I should bring it around and put it back on. Yeah, I took it off because I needed the thing to be more agile so I could push it around where I need it to be.
Push it around?
Yeah.
How do you push it around? You
With-
just like
With the tractor or
Oh, I was
with
gonna say.
the truck. I moved it there with a 6-wheel drive 2.5 ton International.
okay.
Dragged it over from where the guy had it. I traded that for a I don't know what year it was, the 50s something, 2.5 ton International 6-wheel drive that was modified for the phone company. Had a power winch on it, and it had a foldable crane arrangement on it.
Oh, okay.
With a hydraulic thing, it would take the crane thing and fold it back over the roof.
Okay, I know.
And
Like a boom truck.
yeah, it was a boom truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to use it for setting poles
Hmm.
back in the day.
So it was like a crane and a boom truck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty hammered when I got it. I had a one of these. It was a 5-gallon can that you would use on a power boat. It was just a red can, but it was set up so that you could. It had for gas, but it was a specialized kind of can for on a
hydraulic
boat.
fluid? For a hydraulic fluid, or
No, for on a boat,
oh,
or
so
for
it had the
filled
little
with
bubble
gas.
thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, and it had a little
bubble.
squeezy thing for the gas, and then you would get that into your outboard, and you would run it off of that tank, and that worked pretty slick for the boat. But the International, the truck, had the windshield was pretty hammered. There was a hole that you could stick your arm through in the windshield.
Oh boy. Ouch.
And I had some of that heavy-duty overhead wire that the phone company uses for drop wire to get to the house, the overhead drop wire. I had a length of that, and I ran it through the hole in the windshield and out the side door, and had the can tied up against the windshield for my fuel supply. And then it was strictly gravity fed right into the carburetor.
Huh.
And it worked pretty slick, actually.
Huh. I'll be doggone. So you had it on the seat or in the back of the tractor?
It was a truck. It was
Right.
on the windshield.
But you said you fed the line through the windshield, though.
No, the line that held the tank was fed through the windshield.
Right.
The line from the tank went right directly to the carburator.
Okay. Huh.
And then I traded that.
I love internet.
The heck did I do? I think I paid $150 for it, for the truck,
Wow.
because it didn't run. I had to sit there and fiddle with it for quite a while to get it running and stuff, because it hadn't been running for quite a few years. But luckily that was back in the days before alcohol in the gas, so the gas was just lacquered. It wasn't
It wasn't
didn't have the garbage from alcohol in it.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I got it running, and had it up here for a while, and I used it a couple of times. I used it at the airport. That was when they were changing the airport. I used it to lift a couple of, there was overhead sheds that guys had over their airplanes. And because they were changing stuff around in the airports, they had to move their overhead sheds. So I would go out there and pick up the shed from the top and then take it wherever it needed to be and set it back in place. I moved several sheds with that. And then I brought it back here, and that was back when the phone company was taking down all the overhead wire between here and Glendale, which is about a 15-mile run.
From like here to over the Glendale over there, right?
Glendale, yeah, way up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 15-mile run through the backwoods, so the roads aren't that good.
Right.
But
Oh,
this
so
thing didn't care.
It
Didn't care what kind of road you. If it didn't have a road, it'd make a road. And anyway, they were. Well, I used it to. They had a winch on the back, and I used that with a special reel on it to reel up the wire.
Okay, gotcha. Huh.
And they rented the truck back from me to do that, and I made $180 on the rental, so I came out 30 bucks ahead on the deal.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
But then it was sitting here one day, and it had the crane part was up, the crane arm was up, and I was walking through it, and I would have had to walk underneath it, and I just, for some reason, it didn't feel right. So I walked around it, and as I was walking around it, the thing fell down, right where I would have been.
Oh, jeez.
And
talking about dodging a bullet.
so
Wow.
so I had it then for about a year or so again, and it was still, I didn't have any more use for it, and it was just kind of a big old clumsy thing. And I figured that this guy had this thing up for sale, and it's pretty much useless. The engine was frozen. I had to do a lot of fancy work to get the engine to turn over. I don't know if it'll even turn over again now. It's probably froze back up. Yeah. What I ended up doing was I pulled the head off of it, and then I machined a block of aluminum that was the size of the piston, and I put that in each cylinder in turn, and then hit it with a sledge.
Oh, to unfreeze it?
And then I did that, and it unfroze it. And I had it turning over, and then it's got I don't know, probably about a 10 horse or so, what they call a pony motor on the back. And for a starter, and what you do is you start that with a pull rope. I had to rebuild the magneto in the thing to make it run. And then you would start it with that.
Like a lawnmower or something like
yeah.
that. Yep.
And then you would, there's a clutch on the side. You would kick it into gear and then pull the clutch lever. And then it would start the engine turning over for you.
Huh.
But come to find out that the fuel pump on it was really hammered. It had about, it probably had about a 32nd of an inch clearance between the veins in the fuel pumping setup. And when you have that, it's got to be turning over pretty fast to put out any kind of pressure. So I was going to take it off and rebuild it, but then there was a couple other things that came up. Plus I looked at the track, and the track there's about 2 or 3 sections of that track that could be considered good enough to throw away. And the rest of the track is a lot worse. The rest of the track is completely beat. And I called up the cat dealer. Well, the first I did, I went down to the cat dealer, and I gave him the serial number of the thing, and the guy looked it up and he said, "Oh, you got that thing, huh?"
Oh, he's like, oh,
yeah,
boy.
it was the last one. It's the last one in the area. All the rest of them had been sold for scrap and stuff, and this is the last one. This one here, according to the serial number, it was one of the last tractors built in the first year that they ever made Caterpillar tractors. The engine in it was rebuilt in 1937.
Oh my God, rebuilt.
Rebuilt in 1937.
Oh my God.
And It doesn't have any electric, doesn't have any hydraulics. It's got a Luterno winch on the back of it, and then that goes up through a series of pulleys over the top
Okay,
and comes
now I
down
get
and lifts the blade for you.
Okay, now.
And the blade is strictly the weight of the blade. There's nothing pushing it down or anything like that.
Right, it's just gravity.
So it's a big, heavy, ugly blade.
Gotcha. Okay,
So I
now
took
get
it off and left it out in the field there.
Okay.
Nobody's going to take off with it, I'm quite sure.
Maybe some dog sled or something.
Yeah.
You know?
But then that last
All right, now I get
that last piece that sticks out off the back,
it. Mm-hmm.
I used that as a crane. When I brought up, I had a couple pieces of heavy machinery, my mill and the big punch press.
Okay.
And I think my first surface grinder that I had. I've since gotten another surface grinder. But I would bring them up here on the back of the truck, and then I would have that chain fall that you see over on the other place.
Mm-hmm.
I had the chain fall on the end of it, and then I would lift that off the truck, and then pull the truck out from underneath it,
And then use this to put
and then set it back down. I laid a piece of concrete underneath it, so I had something to set it on, and I'd set it on that concrete and put some pipes underneath it, and then roll it into the shop.
Uh-huh.
That big mill that I've got in the shop, I brought that in by myself, rolling it on pipes, getting it through that narrow door,
Jeez.
and I had to go back and forth and around and through to wiggle that thing in there.
Oh my
Took me
God.
most of the day,
Jeez,
and dragged it in there all by myself.
Uh-huh. Well, there you go. Where there's a will, there's a way. I promise. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, there's still a little bit of wind. All right, amigo. We call it a night. Sun goes down, I go down.
Well, I got to go in tomorrow for some physical therapy.
Here in town or in Vegas?
Yeah, in town.
Here in Overton?
Here in Overton, yeah,
over
down
by Cal's, right?
over by down by where the tooth doctor and the chiropractor and the eye doctor are.
By the phone company and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just keep an eye out for a redhead, one chin, 120 pounds, and I don't care about the rest.
There's somebody running the show down there at the physical therapy shop. That's a relative or a friend of something or another of somebody else that I know, and I can't remember who it is. But that's not strange at all, because half the time I can't remember who I am, much less who somebody else is.
You can too. Will you quit that? Good God.
All right, you guys. Take care of each other.
That's
Don't
what
let
we
the
do.
bedbugs bite.
Why don't you just leave it there?
Huh? Well, I
That's
don't want
fine right there is
you- Yeah, I
good.
was gonna say I don't
Yeah.
want you to.
No, we don't want to block the traffic here.
Exactly. There's all kinds of.
Yeah.
We'll have to get one of those rent-a-cops. Okay, hold it. What?
I had a friend back in Minnesota that was a rent-a-cop.
What? Ruh-roh, I'm in trouble.
He was a full-time cop in a little town called Osseo.
Wow. A hug?
There you go.
Yeah, I can handle that all day.
Be a good boy. Sleep tight. See you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Bye.
My pudding cat.
Now, what are you doing, mister?
I'm just sitting here waiting for this thing to go away,
What to go away?
the video.
Where's it going?
It didn't go anywhere. I'm just waiting for it to
Okay, well,
finish.
I'll be waiting.
When all the red is out of the sky, or I get too tired, or run out of
Enjoy.
the herb.
I'll be right here. Excuse me? What What was that last
if I
comment?
run out of the herb.
The hearse?
The herb.
Herb? Boy,
Not your grandfather.
I didn't say anything about my grandpa.
Ugh.
Saying behave. Wait. I'll be back.
There's my pud. Oh. Meow. Meow. Oh. Ugh.
There you are.
There I are.
You having fun?
Is that open?
Yeah, it's open.
Okay. You've got 3 in the fridge in the shop there,
Well,
you know.
this is almost empty. Like drinking soda pop.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Besides choking. Must be good stuff. It's choking you.
Smooth.
Smooth. Doesn't sound like it. Oh, Lordy.